All right, what is happening, folks? It is Jimmy G and Billy the Kid here with y'all with The Forge. And every Sunday night at 9:30, you get to hear us talk about all sorts of nonsense with some special guests and things like that. And we do have a special guest with us today. But Billy, I'm going to let you introduce and all that good stuff.
All right, so what is up, guys? Happy Super Bowl Sunday. Thank you for choosing to watch us over the Eagles and the Chiefs. You know what? To my buddies, all right, go Birds to the friends of mine that know what I'm talking about. That's how I'm going to put it. But we've got Joe, Drake, and Orion from the Troutman Family Presents. This is one of my favorite up-and-coming review channels at the moment. I love what they do. Okay, they've got amazing reviews going on, along with some crazy guests that you'd never expect to see. So really quick, Joe, Drake, Orion, welcome to The Forge. It is wonderful to have you here. Tell us a little bit about yourselves.
Hey, thanks so much for having us on, and love you guys' channels. Jimmy, I was super digging on your Voltron 2 review today. Like I was like scared watching you mess with it. You got some great stuff. So anyways, I guess a little bit about us. I've been collecting since 1984. Took a little break in high school, and then grew up, had kids, and we've absolutely and totally loved doing the collecting together. And we wanted to start a channel where we could kind of enjoy the Transformers and the G.I. Joe. And when Mask comes out, we're going to jump on that. And it's been a blast. I love seeing their perspectives on the toys. And then, I've been fortunate enough to make some friends along the way, and somehow I've managed to talk them into coming over and visiting and playing with toys with us. So,
yeah, very cool.
That is awesome. That is very, very cool. And
reviewing toys. They're not playing with toys. They're reviewing them.
Reviewing them.
Yeah,
it's work. It's not play. Actually, work can be play, and play can be work. But anyway, forgive me if I'm looking down or up. I am having a pizza crisis, folks. So here's the story. 6:25. I ordered a pizza. Was getting ready for Super Bowl Sunday. I ordered from Little Caesars. By no means are they sponsoring this, because if they did, they would get a horrible review. And right now it is 9:33 Eastern, and it is still not here. So Pizza Watch 2025 is going on. Also, we're having just a little bit of internet stuff. There's it's with DoorDash, and so I can see it. And what happens is a dasher would pick it up, and then he leaves, and then another one. So I've had 6 dashers right now. So it's kind of interesting. So we're not here to talk about that. We're here to
How small is your tip? How small was your tip?
Huh? Well, that's a personal question there, Billy. We're not going to talk about that. But anyway, let me bring up the slides here. And first of all, let's see here if I can get things going. And but yes, we have our special guest. Like I said, my internet's acting stupid now too as well. Joe Troutman and the Troutman Family Presents. Is that where they can find you on YouTube, Joe?
Yeah, Troutman Family Presents.
Awesome. And love, and we'll talk more about your channel here in a little bit. Matter of fact, I wouldn't mind doing that right now. Just I'd love to hear just a little bit how your channel came about. Because you use your kids, not use them. You do them with your kids a lot. I know me and my daughter, we do a little segment called Tea Time with Daddy a lot of times and things like that. But I'd love to hear how maybe Troutman Family Presents came about.
Well, really, it's Orion's channel for the most part.
I like, me and Orion wanted to make a YouTube channel.
They wanted to make a YouTube channel. And I've got some toys upstairs. I got a whole room of Transformers. And I've been fortunate enough to get some cool yes, Drake.
Maybe we could do a review up there one time.
I'd love to do a review in that room, but it is so crowded. There's no room for us.
Yeah. And for the table.
But they wanted to do a YouTube channel, and this just seemed like the perfect way to go. I was a concert and event promoter for 20 years, and I went under Joe Troutman Presents. And the boys liked the idea of going Troutman Family Presents to kind of keep in line with that. I had a little bit of a following in Southern California after doing it for so long. So I don't know if it carried over at all. I might get like 1 or 2 fans from the music scene, but figured we'd keep up the legacy, right?
I love it. I honestly, it's
No,
one
that's
of those
great.
channels I look forward to when you guys pop up new stuff. So keep doing what you're doing.
I started watching some. It reminds me a lot of me and my daughter and stuff like that. It's so cool. And now you told me that you had there was a surprise review that you weren't around for, and I kind of cringed as I heard. Do you mind sharing a little bit about that surprise review, because it was a very expensive review if anything happened.
So we were first few videos. We had some Grail pieces up on the table, and we had a G1 Victory Saber, a G1 Deathsaurus, and we had the Haslab stuff out there. And the boys thought it would be fun to do a Deathsaurus review without Dad, a G1 Deathsaurus review. And as much as I hate to admit it, I trust Orion with my Transformers more than I trust myself. He breaks a lot less of them. So he did a good job. He was careful, and the boys, they've got good chemistry together. They riff off each other well, and it was a lot of fun. And I did edit it for him and everything, and editing was a lot of fun too. And it was a blast. So.
I'm sure you had a couple laughs.
That sounds.
That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
No, it was good. It was.
I bet you.
It was one of those videos where I was like, no way. There's no way. Like, I thought, okay, Joe's going to show up somewhere in the end. Like, and it's like, no, there's no Joe. So,
you know what? I think our internet's going to get better once the Super Bowl is over. I think there's this bandwidth that is just being taken up by the Super Bowl. It's over, folks. The Chiefs are losing. They're gone. They didn't pay the refs enough. It's just over. Continue to watch this. But yeah, Joe, I would agree. Because if you watch my videos, there's a lot of people going, "Ooh, he's going to break that." And I know you watched my Voltron 2 video, and you were probably throwing up a few Hail Marys or something, going,
man, my fingernails, get my nails down to the freaking stubs watching you do that one, man. So that's got a surprising amount of engineering.
It does that, but gosh, that plastic on that blue one is so brittle, and so that's why I did it off camera, because I didn't want to. If I broke it, right. First of all, that blue one is very, very expensive, but no, Joe, you got a great channel. For those of y'all that haven't subscribed to Joe and the Troutman Family Presents channel, make sure you do that. I said do, but that's okay. But let's go into some news, and let's talk about some stuff that happened. And really, we're all going to be focused in on this, the Megacon Orlando announcement. Now, if you've never been to Megacon, from what I've heard and what I've seen, I've been to it a couple times, and it is about the third largest convention in the United States. You've got San Diego, you got New York, then you got Megacon, then you got C2E2 and DragonCon kind of fighting it out there too as well. So this year was Hasbro's first time at Megacon, and I kicked myself because I usually try to go every year, and this was the year I didn't go on that. And so we got this teaser before Megacon that said, hey, we got a Haslab we're going to announce, and then we've lost Joe.
We've lost Joe.
Joe is gone. Let's see if we can get Joe back.
You keep talking. I'm going to reach out to Joe.
Yeah. No worries. So we got this teaser that they released that said, hey, our next Haslab is coming up. It's going to be, they kind of hinted and saying, we've been watching G1 cartoons with subtitles. And so for myself and Billy, you've heard us talking, we were speculating. I was hoping for Diatlas. There was rumors of Metroplex. There was rumors flying of Primus, but Primus is not in that. But there was all sorts of rumors. Skygary, all of those were flying around. I didn't think they would do Lyokaiser because they already have a Combiner Wars Lyokaiser, which is not a Lyokaiser at all.
I completely agree with you. I was not expecting him one bit. It's like you said, we just got one not too long ago. That is just fine filling in the shelf space.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was very surprised by that.
Yeah, we're trying to get our guests back, folks. excuse us. It's the Super Bowl. It's causing all this crap to happen.
The internet cut out from his whole house.
Oh my gosh.
Can I get it on my phone?
Yes.
You can give it a shot.
Yeah, it'll work from his phone. That link will work. So use that link. Use the force. But yeah, so we are getting a Lio Kaiser, folks, and so we're gonna continue to go on just a little bit here with me and Billy while we're waiting for Joe to come back on. And what's cool is while we're waiting for Joe, Billy, why don't you tell me your relationship with Joe? How did you get to meet him, and kind of like where that came from?
So I'm good friends with Frank Todaro, who voices Starscream in the current Transformers series of on Netflix, and he was also part of the Maka or whatever that was. I can't even say it. I've been dealing with some pain for the last few days, so if I'm thrown off, I'm sorry. But anyway, I noticed that Joe was talking to a lot of people I was talking to, and had some even cooler friends than I could have. So I ultimately reached out to Joe. We had a lot of he came up in the music industry as a promoter. I came up in music as a singer, and we had some mutual friends in like so many different worlds that we just kind of meshed. It worked. So Joe and I have stayed in touch for the last few years. And like I said, when I saw him doing this channel, I was like, I got to get him on here. Now, hopefully we can get him back.
Absolutely.
And I'm getting feedback.
Yeah, we're having
technical difficulties.
The internet is acting stupid.
I think it's because of this Super Bowl. Oh, I think we got him back.
Absolutely. Oh, there he is.
The whole house.
There we go. So there's no internet in your house at all right now?
It just came back up, but it knocked out all the TVs and everything. And yeah.
So basically what we were just talking about is Jimmy asked how I knew you or met you or came across. And I was saying, I believe it was during the whole Netflix Siege series, and that Transformers Till All Are One page came up. I noticed we just had a lot of similar friends, and we just started talking, and it meshed, and we've been talking for a few years. I followed you through some crazy journeys. Congratulations on your marriage, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I was praying for you with the other thing, and I'm happy that we're fixed and we're good to go. Yeah. And
that's it.
Yeah.
It was definitely a wild ride there.
It was a totally wild ride. I'm very jealous, though, that you've got my buddy Frank, talking to you. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, he's planning. He's going to come out here. He's been. Me and him have been wanting to nerd out on the collections for a while.
Yep.
And he's going to join the review. The review for a minute. Hopefully next month. We're aiming for next month sometime.
Nice. Frank's
that'll be awesome.
Honestly, one of the best people I've ever met. Like, that guy has a heart of gold and always goes out there for, the fans and the friends and the family, we'll call it. He's really top notch. So I can't wait to see that.
Yeah.
So
I think the most famous person I know is the Little Caesars guy.
Pizza.
So
anyway,
we were talking about the Megacon announcement and kind of the prequel teaser that they gave us. And again, I was saying I thought it was going to be Atlas. There was rumors of Metroplex. I didn't think they would do Lio Kaiser just because there was a Combiner Wars Lio Kaiser, which wasn't Lio Kaiser. But I just didn't think they would do it. I didn't even think they would go back to Japanese continuity. I was thinking possibly they may go back into Robots in Disguise since they got Optimus and Omega Prime. I was thinking, man, wouldn't that be cool if they gave us Megatron? Kind of like how they did with Victory Saber and Death Saurus. And so, little to our surprise, we got the announcement we got. So, Joe, when you heard they were doing a new Haslab, which one were you hoping for?
I was hoping for Lio Kaiser. So,
okay, nice.
So
I was holding out hope for him too, but then I was like, hey.
Well, just a little inside baseball. I had a really, really close relationship with Ben Montano, who used to run the brand for a while. And I begged him to do Victory Saber. And I think a lot of other people were too. But that was something they couldn't do. And I had done the Unicron reveal during San Diego Comic-Con. Are you good? And
Nice.
I'm just sucking it in, man. I'm taking it all in.
My internet's so choppy, so I'm like, if I don't see you guys moving, I'm like, uh-oh, did it freeze? So we did a big party with Vince DiCola playing, and we thank you. We had all the Takara engineers come out, and they did Unicron, and then I had a good talking relationship with Ben, and a lot of the things that I bounced off of him ended up turning into reality, including the Victory Saber, and we were hoping that Victory Saber would have done like 12,000 units, and it did like 28,000. It was ridiculous.
So that blew up.
Oh, wow.
So, since I said it's going to do well, I'm like, I'm hoping for 15,000, did 28. And everything that I was kind of, whenever they did one and I would mention it and they would do it, it ended up selling pretty well. So I guess they had my attention. And then they were going to do Death Saurus as a commander class, but they wanted to make it really rival Victory Saber. So it went into to Haslab as well. And I think because of the popularity of those ones, I really think Leo Kaiser is just the perfect fit because it could only be done as a Haslab, really.
Yeah.
So I agree.
Yeah.
I think it's a perfect.
I would agree.
I just wish it was in the $250 range, not the $300. Simply because there's so much shared engineering that I kind of feel a little not robbed, but I don't know the word I'm looking for. But with the shared engineering, I don't think that this should be the most expensive Haslab aside from Unicron. That's all.
So my thoughts, you do have, which will probably be 7 figures. And because the colors are also wildly different, here I'll bring in, this is my Hades, just all the colors are wildly different. So you can't really share, you can't really share the molds on it, because of all the different paint that's going to be used. And a lot of them aren't going to be able to be used again, especially Jaruga and Leozak, and then probably Death Cobra as well. So, and I'm sure it's going to get some extra paint on it. I'm sure it's going to look a little bit extra nice. Would I love it to be less expensive? I mean, who doesn't want it to be less expensive? But $41 a figure for 7, $42, and then you throw in the stand, you throw in the nunchucks if we get lucky enough on that. I don't think it's too bad.
Yep. Perfect validation.
No, I agree. We got to hit that. We got to hit those tiers to bring our cost down a little bit. So I put in my order for mine, so I can't wait. But let's talk about the pipeline. So Hasbro revealed some things here. Which one of these are y'all excited about? Now, I know we've had a Sandstorm and a Perceptor before, but this Perceptor comes with, of course, Blaster's other tapes on that. So if you're a completionist, you're gonna need to get that Perceptor there. So, but which one are you all excited for on these guys?
I think I'm excited about like that big giant orange guy. I think.
Oh, is that Hot Rod?
Hot Shot?
Yeah.
Or Hot Shot, sorry.
Hot Shot?
That guy's like super big, and I like big boy.
I don't think he's going to be that big when we get him though.
I'm sorry to cut you guys off. There's a question for Joe. Did they make a Death Cobra for that Hades figure?
No, they did not.
They did not.
No, but they make, honestly, the Breastmasters on these were really, really cool. I mean, these are.
I'll pull you up here.
Yeah, these were definitely some of the nicest breasts I've seen. Breastmasters. Yeah. So they were super intricate. They were pretty well detailed. The Hades, I think that they definitely got it on the Haslab for the Breastmasters.
Yep, I'm looking forward to that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ryan, which one's your favorite?
The one that looks like a Constructicon, or maybe the one above it.
So these were from
the green.
Yeah, the ones on the top. Those are from the Transformers
Devastation.
the video game. Devastation.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yeah. And who was the one right below that? I know it's Carnivac.
What?
I like the Pretender, and I hope we get the shell.
Yeah.
Looks like we're getting the shell.
They got to give
That
you the
would be
shell.
great.
If they're going to make Pretenders, you need the shell. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, you need.
Yeah,
the
and
shell.
I don't think they would show the shell if it wasn't going to come with it. So that I hated Pretenders growing up, got me out of Transformers, but now I had to go back and complete them all, and I do like them now, surprisingly. So, you're welcome.
I like pretend.
Absolutely. So, pizza update. The DoorDash person said that my order was already picked up. So some interesting
Who would
developments.
steal 20 kids' lunches?
That's it. I'll tell you who was that Sasquatch. So let's go on.
I really like that Cybertron Sideways. Like, I think that's cool that they're giving us that.
Yeah.
That's a figure that was so
cool.
fun in that series. You know, I was a fan of it because it gave us new characters. That's what we need, I feel like, with Transformers. I'm done with the guys I grew up with. Give me some new characters at this point.
Dude, Cybertron was such a cool series too. I loved the cartoon and I love the toys. It was
Absolutely.
one of the best lines.
Couldn't agree more.
Mm.
I like
That's it.
the
All right.
movie that one. Was
Moving on.
Yeah. So they
Steel.
announced the Hearts of Steel, which looks so cool. Especially the Megatron, which we'll show off here in just a little bit. For me, though, that box packaging looks amazing. So let's get to the bots so we can talk about them a little bit. So let's take a look at first Optimus Prime and Starscream. So that Optimus Prime train looks like it's something out of like a Mickey Mouse Clubhouse or something like that.
100%.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking of that.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh boy,
it should turn into Mickey.
Mm.
You know,
That's it. But what are y'all's thoughts about Optimus and Starscream here? I like the Starscream better, but
Into a jet.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm going to pick him up just because I have no self-control, and it'll be something fun for the channel.
Yeah, and then
Yep.
Yeah.
one that we don't have.
If they would have done a darker, dirtier red, I think it would have suited it better.
Yeah.
So I agree
Yeah.
there. But I did notice that the pictures at Megacon, the colors were not as heavily saturated as these pictures. So I'm kind of hoping
that
that
is
it's
true.
a little duller in hand, which would work. I feel like these would look better without that Gen 1 color scheme. Like, give us some tarnished, soot, dirty old, grayscale bots, and these would look fantastic.
Yep, 100%. Yeah, I think if you change the colors, you'd be dialed in.
Yeah. Right now, it just looks like a Mickey Mouse train.
it'd be a great collaboration to have a Mickey Mouse. That could be Donald Duck right there. So that would be awesome.
Yep. Absolutely.
Mickey's
But I
really,
think
really
they're great. I think it was a nice surprise I wasn't expecting. And I do think they look well. Like, they pulled it off, especially with, and I talk about this every week, Hasbro always has those limitations that, there's safety standards here in the U.S. There's just certain things that they have to do to be able to sell these figures, and working with the limitations of keeping in a budget as well. I think they definitely did good for what they are working with here.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Autocorrect says he has the comic books. Darth Ravage said, hey, these will be mine. Choo Choo Prime will be mine. And then we've got New York Hunter. I don't know if you can click on his comment there, Billy.
I got it coming up. I
was
was just about to share it. If they did a Tailspin collab and we get a King Louie, I'm totally in. Okay.
That's it. That would be friggin' amazing. And then these are the ones that I'm more excited about when you think of the pair, the Megatron and Bumblebee. I could care less about the Bumblebee. I'll still get them. I like them, but that cannon, howitzer there looks amazing.
My son's jaw dropped at that Megatron and was like, "Dad, you have to buy that for me." So even if I wasn't in, I'd be all in. But that is the coolest Megatron figure Hasbro's put out, period.
I looked at that. That was mind blowing for me. I saying that, it was just like, it was mind blowing, and It looks so freaking cool. It's so original. They've never done anything like that ever.
No,
I mean, like maybe Galvatron in the 80s ish.
Yeah, his tank mode. It kind of looks like Galvatron because it's like short or not like long.
Well, Galvatron was a space cannon, so that works for me. But I agree. I think this is a great little set, though.
I think what would be cool is to have like some little. What would be cool is to have some little like World War II Army men to have like to make a little diorama. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
With this.
Don't get me started. Please don't get me started.
Oh, and no, this is going blue and gray. This is Civil War, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
that's true. That's
blue
true.
with well, no wait, blue was Union, so I guess you couldn't have Cobra Commander there. So.
No.
Why did you just put up like a rescue?
Okay.
All right. Well, we're gonna go on to the next one, which is the rescue bot right there. We've got Heatwave that was announced. Now, you said you've got a lot of rescue bots, right? Which one's your favorite rescue bot?
So, Orion, which one was your favorite rescue bot?
Probably the Boulder one, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like the boat more, the red boat.
Yeah, that would be another version of Heatwave.
Yeah, I don't know why he has like a lot of things he turns into.
Yeah, they changed a lot. He was a dinosaur too at one point.
Yeah, and Optimus and like all of the other ones.
So Orion grew up more with the rescue bots growing up, and now they're all scattered throughout everywhere. They didn't make it up. That was before we had them upstairs. And now we've been getting them, and I don't think Orion's dug into the new versions yet, but that's something we should dig into.
Yeah, maybe. When we finish.
Yeah.
So that's
favorite. It. I do love the sunglasses on him. I mean, they look cool, right? I
like the fireman's hat. Like I have a family of firefighters, going back to my grandfather, my uncles, and all that. So to see that hat is pretty cool for me. It's one of those things where I could pick one up and get a non-Transformers fan to still hold on to a Transformer, which would be cool.
Darth Ravage said he needs that heat wave for his chase. So,
they did make Chase. Cool. That's right.
And Chase and Medics too is out.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Absolutely. But this one's I'm excited about is Skybite, which, it's really, really cool. I talked to my daughter who's into sharks, and she says, you've got to buy me one. So this one will definitely be coming home in my collection. Love the colors. Love the way it looks. I just think it looks awesome on that. So Joe, Drake, and Orion, what do you all think?
Go ahead, Orion.
So the Skybite?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool, and like it kind of looks like a cartoonish like robot shark, which it's pretty much trying to be. Maybe not the cartoonish part.
Well, that's from a series called R.I.D. from 2000. And that one you haven't watched that one at all yet.
You will like it. It is a fun series.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fortress Maximus was in it, and the Autobot brothers were really cool.
Yes, they were.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you back the Haslab with Omega Prime, so Joe, did you back that one?
Of course. I told you I got no control on this stuff. No self-control on it.
Neither do I. It's like that Fry meme. Take my money. So shut up. Yeah, that's it. So Billy, what about you? Skybite, is he coming in your collection?
Both of these are actually going to go in my collection. They're wonderful. Skybite, I love. I loved Rid, especially the way that they end the series with Skybite. That's as far as I'm going to put it. Really just great stuff. I love that he's got the Predacon crystal from back in the day in his chest. Little homages that really take it a step further. And it just looks like a beautiful update to a wonderful toy.
Yeah, absolutely. On that. And so next we'll get into, they did show off a little bit, and I'm just waiting for the slide to update here. because my internet is acting slow. There we go. So we are going to transition into. They announced the pair that are coming out here. So beautiful, beautiful. Now, Billy, you pointed out something on this. What was it that you pointed out here? If you don't mind just sharing it with the crowd here.
Hasbro has this beautiful promotional art for these toys, and Hook is not transformed all the way. Those panels should be down on his shoulder and give him that completed look. I'm not sure what's going on there. Hasbro's, I guess, the thorn in their side or their Achilles heel has always been poor promotional images in my view. They make these fantastic products, and sometimes they bring people in to take pictures that don't know what they're photographing, and you get this. So, that's all.
That is true. That is true. Maybe he's just got like the 70s kind of like collar pop going on there. So you never know.
I have a question for you guys. Yeah. You guys have both had a G1 Devastator at some point, or right? Which was your favorite Constructicon?
Scrapper.
Ooh. I was always a Mixmaster. I love the cement truck. That was mine.
Yeah.
I never knew my.
So I don't know why those were always pieced together for me, and I never completed my Devastator till I was probably 20. But I always had a Scavenger. I don't know if I went through a couple of those that I traded with friends.
Oh yeah, Scavenger.
Hook was my pain in the butt to get, and I just always loved Hook since then.
Hook's a great.
I was one of those. Yeah, I was one of those fortunate kids to get the gift set as a kid that they all came in, which was weird because I didn't. My parents weren't that well to do, and I know even though back then that was a lot of money, especially like when I got Megatron, that was a lot of money on that one. So, but yeah, I always liked Mixmaster. I was into the cement trucks and stuff like that. I also liked Long Haul because I had that big yellow Tonka truck, that indestructible. Just you could run over that thing, you could throw it off of a skyscraper, and it'd still be ticking.
Absolutely.
We've got one in there we've got one somewhere, one of those old Tonka dump trucks still.
Oh yeah.
We have a fire truck.
Nice. Yeah. We'll take a look at some more pictures here. This is the box art. This is the 2-pack. It's going to be Commander class price, I believe, on this one here. And let's just go through a few more pictures. The combine mode. I actually do dig this combine right here, this front. I love that face that Devastator does have right there with that kind of grumpy looking, kind of like, hey, who stole my arms? I don't know, but that looks really, really good. So what are your thoughts on this combine right here with no arms, no legs? What do you call a guy with no arms, no legs on the ground? Matt, right? So anyway, but what are your thoughts?
I'm digging it. I mean, how do you not love a Devastator? And it's been a while since we've had one to play with, so I love the Combiner Wars one.
Yeah. So
this one, I don't see anything to complain about with it.
No. Yeah. So the interesting thing is, I know you asked us the question, Combiner Wars or this one. Which do you prefer on that? And I never owned the Combiner Wars one, so this will probably be my first Hasbro Devastator that I would own. But I'd love to hear from both of y'all. Which one, Combiner Wars or Studio Series here?
Joe, you can go first, bud.
So I think that the Combiner Wars is going to have a better presence on the shelf. I mean, it's big, it's beautiful, it's awesome. I did get the San Diego Comic-Con version. And it had for me, the big thing, I couldn't do the Hasbro regular release because Mixmaster was backwards. Oh. But the Comic-Con was good. So I think that one's going to have a better shelf presence as Devastator. But these guys are more in scale with each other. So I think they're going to look a lot better in the individual alt modes and robot modes. So by far,
I actually drove about 3 hours out of state to pick up a Combiner Wars Devastator, as my area just never showed up. And I'm not one for pre-ordering online because I like to see something in hand to make sure the paint's perfect. I'm just one of those people. But I actually prefer this one to the Combiner Wars. I think this is, it has a better proportions. It just looks well. I don't mind the big giant butt, I'll call it right now. But I think it looks great. I also like that Long Haul is proportionately scaled with his brother in robot and vehicle mode, and the combiner aspects are separate pieces. It just works as a set. So if you want to display them as individual bots or vehicles, they'll actually scale well with each other. So I think this is a good job on Hasbro's part.
Yeah. And is that his gun, Mixmaster's gun, pegged into his foot? So I'm guessing that's how you just kind of hide all the guns, because I'm noticing 3 guns on the back there for Long Haul.
Yep.
But that looks interesting. That's interesting.
I don't know if that's
just
weapon storage. It's kind of like a
well, it looks like his toes.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Brave of them to release a picture of the back on it.
very brave.
Yeah, so.
Because I'm sure that's going to throw
Hey.
some backers off, or some.
Well,
Hey, I did want to. I saw Darth Ravage left a comment about the Hasbro staff usually not being fans. So I do have to disagree. I think everyone that's on Team Transformers, that's in the engineering, that's in the nitty gritty are, but you do get other brands, or not other brands, but other departments. Those, and that's a different type of person. But the people that are the ones making the calls on these guys and doing the engineering and everything, I will defend. They are huge fans. They are nerds just like us, man. When it comes to this stuff,
Which is always good to hear.
that's
And
yes.
And,
Oh yeah.
I was looking there, and he said, "You Prime will be mine."
What the interesting thing is my daughter calls it the bakery that back there, but Long Haul is a dump truck, so he does have dumps like a truck. But
Perfect.
But
I was trying to figure out how I was getting that in there. So that is.
I've been happened before you, Billy.
You beat me.
But there they all are, lined up in a row right there. So really, really cool. Going to be a great mix. And I love the fact, I guess it's going to scale well with Menasor, Superion, all of that. So it's all going to look really, really good. So you don't have bots that are kind of just all over the place on that. So, so really, really nice on that. Billy, you got any final thoughts on this guy?
I just want to applaud Hasbro for thinking about the scale. I'm a big scale guy. I like everybody to be where they need to be on that Sunbow chart. That does it matter? Who knows? But in here, I like it. So I'm cool. I'm happy that they're doing it. I don't think that this is a missed opportunity. I did see somebody state though that they do dislike that they are mixed out in waves. That they're not all. It's not all like, hey, here's the Devastator wave. I agree. I hate having like a portion of my army. That drives me bonkers. But I also know that how well is an entire wave of one type of character going to sell? We're not the target audience. There's still parents that have to buy birthday gifts and things like that. And what are they going to do when all they see is the same green character that they can't differentiate from?
In defense, I actually like them being spread out. And the reason why is it gives you more time to appreciate each figure. Because when you get all of them at once, what do? You take them all and you do them, and it's Devastator and you're done. But here you're going to get to enjoy Scrapper. You're going to get to enjoy Bone Crusher and slowly kind of get to know each one of them before you put them all together. So I dig the spread out ways.
So that's a great way to look at that, man.
Yeah. Well, I just hope distribution is good, and I know that can't be controlled because I know there's still people waiting for their breakdown for Menasor. So, and he never showed up in any of our stores. Like Breakdown never showed up. He was just the one that got away.
You don't have him?
Huh? Oh no, I got him. I figured out a way. I've got ways to get the figures I need. It fell off the back of a truck. Let's just put it that way.
So
okay, Prime versus Prime.
That's it.
I'm almost embarrassed to say, but I have a dealer. He lives kind of close. He just gets me everything. I go to his house. He's about 25 minutes away, and I don't have to worry about. I still like to look in the stores, but I just go straight to him. That way, I don't miss anything. The only ones I've missed was the beachcomber and the axle grease.
Okay. Yeah.
In probably 10 years.
I'm just curious at how distribution is going to work. I mean, with Diamond Publishing and Diamond distributors going the way of the Dodo Bird, they, it's just kind of there's going to be a vying for it, because I've got a toy store that I work with that Diamond news really impacted them, because they ordered a lot of figures and stuff like that from Diamond on that. So just wondering how that's going to all play out pretty much.
That could be a good idea for an upcoming show, because I have somebody we can bring on that could touch base on that.
Awesome. So we're going to just move away from Transformers just for a second, and we're going to go into something that took over for Transformers. So after Transformers Zone ended and they were done with Transformers in Japan, Takara said, you know what, let's jump on to the next. And they went into the Brave series, where you have King of the Braves. There's all sorts of Brave. And this is a new figure from Takara, I believe, that's coming out. Or no, maybe it's this company, Hackney Works, Brave Police J. Decker and J. Tiga Combiner. So that's what he looks like. I'm going to move it to the next slide so you can actually get a better kind of the renders here. But I'm all in on this, because I did some research and studying about that after Transformers, and I thought it was really, really cool. Just some of the things that they did. They still continue to offer like the human element with the robots and just kind of working together. But this looks really, really cool. So I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts on this.
Joe, you can take the plate first.
So I've heard of Brave. I know a little bit about Brave, but seeing as how much I drop on Transformers, I'm scared to death to go down that rabbit hole.
Go down.
So does this look cool? It absolutely does. I'd love to, if they brought it over and put it in official Transformer line, I will pick it up in a second. But like I said, man, I did G.I. Joe. I'm going to be doing Masks soon. And I got 2 kids to feed, so doing another franchise is,
It's tough. Priorities. I get it. That's where I'm having to wean out certain parts of my collection and kind of go, what is going to be priority to me? Big robots will always be priority to me, though. But on that, what do you think, Billy?
So I never got into Brave. It just wasn't for me, I guess. I love the design. I love the toy. I'll probably mess around with it. But 3 kids, 1 in college. I don't have much money to throw around, so I might live vicariously through your reviews.
Oh yeah, let me bring this guy in. Let's see if I can bring him without knocking stuff over. So like this thing right here, this is the soul of Chogokin Gal Gaigar right there. So let me maximize my window.
Maximize.
Oh, that's pretty.
But yeah, these are drill. This is the drill gal. This is the train. Then there's this lion, and then there's this stealth gal right here, and they all combine to form this. And it was just, if you want to watch the cartoon, it's on Crunchyroll right now. It's really kid friendly. A lot of the English voice actors voice acted in Yu-Gi-Oh! And stuff like that too as well. So definitely check it out because it became a really good guilty pleasure of mine on that. So, but we did not talk about one thing, and so that's probably what we want to get into now. So as y'all know, Hasbro released a promotional video. So let's see it right now. Cobra.
Forever Destron, baby.
Mhm.
Absolutely. That
10 seconds on.
that is one of my favorite. Besides Voltron forming, is Lio Kaiser forming. That sequence is probably one of the coolest things in cartoons. And then just seeing him, and if you haven't watched Victory, we're going to talk some spoilers. Lio Kaiser and Starsaber. I mean, Lio Kaiser almost destroyed Starsaber until God Ginrai came in and saved him and actually sacrificed his life to save Starsaber. And then we know what happened with God Ginrai. He became Victory Leo, and then we got Victory Saber out of that. So if you're not watching Victory, I would encourage you to do that. That's the best of the Japanese series. Headmasters was a tough one to get through. Super God Master Force started slow but got pretty good. Then Victory was just really, really great. And then Zone was only one episode on that. So, initial thoughts. What are your initial thoughts about this? Because again, I was thinking Diatlas, and then they said Lio Kaiser, and I was like, what? They're bringing in Lio Kaiser, which gives me hope for a Road Caesar sometime down the road, and gives me hope for a Land Cross, a Blue Bacchus, a Great Shot, all that good stuff. So Joe, Drake, and Orion, what are your thoughts on Lio Kaiser? And we'll talk more about him too.
Can I go?
You go. Yeah, you can go.
Uh-oh.
He has a lot of colors. He has like a greenish, bluish, blue, gold, and like a yellow kind of, and a red. And that's a lot of colors.
So, okay, Orion, you got any comments?
Looking at it, like it looks really cool. It looks similar to the third-party one right there.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, he looks a lot more like this.
Oh yeah,
he looks like this.
Yeah,
So,
that we won't talk
you're
about the
freezing.
one on that side.
I think it might be my connection now.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, no, it's good. You know, look at it. There's no, you don't have Leozak.
No.
And then the legs, and yeah, they blew it. But you know what? I'm glad they blew it, because if they didn't, we wouldn't have got the Haslab version.
Yeah.
I would agree. Absolutely. Billy, initial thoughts.
Initial thoughts is I think it's beautiful. I think that it's a really nice offering from Hasbro. I was really surprised. I really expected Diatlas. It just worked better tier-wise for me. But the way that this comes out and Death Cobra and all that, like, I'm cool. I think it looks good. It's clean. There's some design elements that I was surprised about, but I could see being fun. And, if it was $250, I would have been totally in. $300 is a fair price, though, because Joe did point some things out to me that, I agree with. But I think it's a great offering. I think it's gonna fill. I think this will get fully backed. I don't see this not succeeding. It's just such a perfect update compared to what we got previously.
Yeah, it's almost halfway right now. So
yeah, it's gonna go. It's gonna go quick.
And Death Cobra, I mean, that was so cool. To get that, I mean, the head looks good on it, and he is going to turn into an arm as well. So you can switch it around. It's just I think it's going to be great to have him fit in, and just to keep on fleshing out more and more of the Japanese lines is such a win, because those characters were great, and we never got them in the US. And if we got stuck with this, that wouldn't be fun. That wouldn't be cool. That does.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
So I'm sure they'll be on fire sale on eBay here any day now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
So yeah, New York Hunter's asking, so what do you think? Stopped at the 300, pulled back right before the purchase. The rotating video had a few things I didn't like: pegs in the chest showing, hollow back in combined mode, etc. Now, Joe, you did bring some perspective on this. I would love for you to share a little bit around that.
So if you break it down with just the figures, and I'm sure we're going to get Death Cobra, you're looking a little bit over $40 a character. Each of these is going to probably need to be on a different mold, so you can't put a whole bunch of them in the same. Like when they go to make the characters and they put the plastic in, they're all different colors. So when you're doing the jigs or whatever for it, the actual molds,
Yep.
It's going to have to be seven different ones because of the colors. Also, you're going to have definitely Jaruga and Leozak are never going to be able to be redone or retooled into anything else. So if you think about it, and then they're also going to be putting a lot of extra paint on it. I'm sure they're going to make this look even better as it goes on, because they are still going to tweak with it. We're going to have a year and a half, and they always do extra little tweaks and whatnots throughout it. So I think it's great. If I was to have any criticism, I think the video they should have played the victory theme, that would have made it even cooler.
Yes.
With the toy, I think he looks awesome. I like what they did with Jaruga with the legs. The Breastmasters, that is the one thing I think that the Hades one with the Breastmasters. I mean, these are going to be really tough to beat, but
there's more.
Yeah, those are going to be tough to beat. But hey, it's a big win. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Those look great. The TFC
so
set was really, really good, especially the renewal version. So they came with the better joints. So
yeah.
And the Iron Factory version right now that's out is looking really good. And I've got them. I haven't taken them out. I'm still waiting on Skyhawk, and they're bringing a Death Cobra too, and he sits at about 10 inches. So a little bit under. So if you have Deathsaurus sitting down, it looks really kind of cool. So I think my Iron Factory one's definitely going to be that fill-in until I can get the official one here. But I am definitely going to be getting this Leo Kaiser because I've been looking forward to it. So let's look at them individually. So here we got Leozak.
And since we're bringing those up individually, I brought up Autocorrect Primer, who is stating as long as it doesn't have hollow points. From what I saw, there wasn't as much, I guess, hollowness or waffles as you'd come to expect with Hasbro lately. I think they worked with what they had pretty well. And we're going to see that in each individual picture that you're about to show off.
So, let's start with Leozak, the leader of the chest force. I have to say chest force.
It's breast force.
It's breast force.
It is. And I love what you said, Joe. It's like, there's the breast force and the brain masters.
and right now, Hasbro's been winning. They've got 2 Breastmaster Haslabs, so just 1 brain. So you see which one they prefer, right?
That's it.
Do we know if these are Voyager class or deluxe? I think Leozak's a Voyager, right?
They're supposed to all be Voyager class, I believe.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. But yeah, I love the fact they're all coming with their chest masters, their animals. Leozak here looks great. The colors look beautiful. I do love those wings. That was the thing that drew me to Leo Kaiser and to the set is A, their heads represented their animals, and then B, that wing, those wings on Leozak just looked cool. I'm all about jets.
One other thing with these that a lot of people aren't thinking about, the only extra pieces to make Leo Kaiser is just going to be in the hips and the thighs. The rest, the head's going to be incorporated, the hands are going to be incorporated, the feet. So you're not going to need all the extra parts.
So the head's incorporated in Leozak right now, like he's inside Leozak.
I don't know where it is, but yeah, from what and the head was separate on the G1. That was the only piece. But yeah, everything's going to be incorporated into these guys, and that's a big deal. That makes
a huge deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So Leozak, yay, nay, good, awesome, bad.
I think he's good.
Yeah, absolutely. Then we got.
And the only thing I don't like are the feet, like on the side of his feet, are those 2 white posts. But I feel like they're inevitable.
Look back here. I didn't take a look. Oh yeah, right here. Yeah, I see what you're talking about.
But he's not going to be in that mode anyway.
That's it. How about this next one, Joe? What do you think?
Looks great. Love the drill mode. This one I think is one of the better ones. I've heard people complaining about the shoulders. Again, they'll probably clean it up a little bit, but I don't see anything to criticize on this one.
Yeah, I really like it.
Yeah, it almost reminds me of the Craftsman Toys nose cone.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, looks so good. Again, love the animals. They're so cool.
I think this looks fantastic. I agree. Kill Bison too.
Absolutely.
They look great.
Yeah, which is interesting that they kept the name Kill Bison, but it's Elbat, so it's weird. But yeah, he looks pretty good. I think he's my least favorite of them. I don't know why.
100%.
He just looks chunky, but I'm a chunky guy too, and some people like chunky, so that's great.
I feel like the stockiness, once you have them in hand, isn't going to be as bad because, like, I feel like with Hasbro's renders, sometimes they just end up looking a little beefier and stockier than what you actually have in hand when it finally comes.
And that's what we got to keep in mind. These are like first phase, the renders and the first phase prototypes. So there's still a lot of refining and stuff that's going to be going on with this guy.
Absolutely. Darth Ravage says that's totally worth $40 a pop if they're all Voyagers.
Oh, Jaruga. He's probably my second favorite.
Yeah, I was going to say that's up there. He's a good looking bot.
Yeah, he's so clean. This one might be my favorite, just because he looks so good in every mode.
He does look good. I think it's between Leo Zach and this one for me. So and then I think the next one is Skyhawk.
He looks great too.
they all, I don't know which one to pick now. I love the Jets. I love the Jets.
No, they all look so good and clean.
And again, look at the head and how it mimics their name. I mean, just there's Guy Hawk. It looks like a hawk. Then, of course, he has his hawk. I don't know if it's a mohawk. He pities the fool. So, and then the next one, the wimp, the coward of the group, Hellbat. The one thing I would wish, maybe if they did a tier 4, is his little sonic mind control thing would have been kind of cool. I don't know how they would have made it, but it would have been really, really cool to kind of include.
Dude, how wicked is the breastmaster look on him? Look at that bat head. Just it's so
good.
Yeah. Everything about him looks like it jumped off the screen. I think that's a major success.
Yeah. And again, to keep the cost kind of low and down, I get it. They can't keep like paneling it like kind of like a magic square would or something like that. Because I got a magic square, you wouldn't see that inside of the arms there, but it makes sense, especially for being a combiner. There's you got to make concessions for it being a combiner as well.
Correct. I agree with you there.
Yeah. There is Death Cobra unlock at 13,000. Now, if you haven't watched the cartoon, now you can look on his chest. They didn't really show his breast animal, but it is a cobra on that. So,
I did see. I don't know where I saw it, but they did have pictures of the cobra up.
Did they? I didn't.
Yeah,
I looked. I scoured the internet for it. And I couldn't find it.
Yeah, I didn't see the cobra,
and I did see it in arm mode. But the cobra, it looked a little bit like the one that turned into the plank on Siege. It looked a little similar to that, but a little hollow in the chest.
Okay. Very cool. And then, of course, the nunchucks, the magnetic nunchuck accessory, which
cool.
About took out Star Saber. It did take out God Genrai on that. And then, of course, the stand. I would be happy if it stopped at the second level. I wouldn't, but I know it's going to go all 3. I would be happy if I got just Death Cobra. I get just the nunchuck. I'm like, well, someone could 3D print one of those if we didn't make it, but if we got the Death Cobra, I would just be fine. But it looks like this is gonna be a very, very fast backing on it. So, if you're not familiar with Death Cobra, he does not make it. Hellbat does his thing and kills him. I don't know if it was on accident or if on purpose, but then Hellbat blames, of course, the Cybertrons on it, and then it just kind of goes from there. But I'm hoping maybe like a Toy Hacks or someone makes a like blasted chest or something so you can recreate that scene.
Yeah.
So, what are y'all's thoughts on these tiers? At first, I thought it was going to just be 1 tier or whatever, but we got 3. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think if there was 1 tier, I don't think anyone would be crying, considering it's a whole nother Transformer versus 2 little Micromasters or a stand or whatever, or an extra gun. So getting Death Cobra, that is, I mean, that's something to that's a huge win. the stand, I'm sure they'll probably tweak the stand and make it look better.
Yeah, I hope so. Because, I mean, you think about the Victory stand looked awesome. And then, of course, Death Saurus stand with the throne looked amazing.
Yeah.
So hopefully we at least get like maybe the Victory logo or something like that on it. So that would be kind of cool.
Logo would be great. I'm fine with just Death Cobra. Obviously, I agree that I think they're all going to unlock. I think it's nice. I think it's a good little setup. The stand is pretty boring, though.
It is. That's probably my least favorite of the three things. But I do love, again, if I want to complete the look, you've got to get the nunchucks because you got the spears that each of them have. And then, of course, there's Death Cobra in his bazooka mode. But like Joe said, he does turn into an arm. So if you want to. So makes me wonder what would happen to Hellbat when you decide to kind of use Death Cobra as the arm. I wonder if there's like maybe a secret mode or a hidden mode. Maybe he becomes a bazooka. I don't know. So one can hope or dream, or maybe just kill him.
If Death Cobra made it into the arm, that means Death Saurus sent Hellbat to go stand in the corner for a couple years.
That's true. That's true. On that, but yeah, it just looks good, and I love the way this weapon is. I mean, this weapon looks straight out of the cartoon. It looks straight out of the cartoon.
Darth Ravage says that the electromagnetic nunchaku should be the default weapon for Lyle Kaiser and not a tier unlock. I get that. I totally get it. I honestly don't mind it if it came with it or didn't. I don't usually pose my characters with weapons. So
they did that. They did the same thing though with Victory Saber with the gun, and the same with Death Saurus with his metal eating. I forgot what it's called, but that gun too as well. Those were tier unlocks for it. So makes sense that they did a tier unlock, and I think it was a tier 2 unlock for those two as well. So, but yeah. So let's get into some of the prototypes here. There we go. There is the front. The one thing that I don't like, and I hope they clean it up a little bit, is if you can see at the bottom of the feet, you see those the holes right there. I would love either someone to build like a gap filler for it, or if somehow those could be hidden a little bit. But I mean, that's just a minor nuisance. But cool. I do love, again, the wings. He's transformed just right, like how he's supposed to. Because when I see the Iron Factory one, there's a lot of people that Iron Factory's directions have those wings kind of going this way, but you can make them go more animation accurate. But yeah, that's the only thing right there. And then there's another thing that we'll show in a little bit. But any thoughts on these prototypes here? I could tell that what is his name? The designer,
Evan.
Yeah, Evan. Yeah, has a blast with these things. He looks like a kid in a candy store.
Yeah. Only thing I agree with you with the feet holes. Like it'd be cool if there could be like a little spring-loaded flap that comes down to fill that. Sort of like, the way like the masterpieces always have like a little pull down that fills those gaps in. That'd be a nice little thing. But other than that, I mean, it looks rad, man. Even as a prototype, unpainted, it looks clean and cohesive, and that's all I can ask for.
And Hasbro, they've been really good about dropping extra surprises once it funds.
Yep.
Because those guys, they really they're the ones that are the ultra fans, and this is like their pride and joy, and they want to make it as cool as possible. And so every time they've thrown in extras that we weren't expecting. So
yeah, like with Death Saurus, we got the other little guys.
Yeah,
that we weren't expecting on that. Now I want what's behind him there. That G1. Do you have a G1 Lyle Kaiser there, Joe?
So G1 Lyle Kaiser is my last Grail piece that I need. I've got Diatlas, I've got Star Convoy, I've got all of them, and that one I've wanted forever. I've got Raiden, I've got Road Caesar, everybody. But that one's been my favorite. So
you've never got it.
And yeah, once I get some extra money again, that's the one I'm gonna get, and then I don't have to go backwards anymore.
The interesting thing is I will be starting a separate website to be able to raise money for a Lyle Kaiser. I saw on eBay there was like a guy was selling one for, not even a good looking one. He was selling for $1,000. I'm like, wow, So I'm hoping that maybe I can find someone that doesn't know what they have on that.
Oh,
So
have you guys ever bought from Artfire?
no.
Okay, Artfire gets all the Japanese stuff in. It's really fairly priced, and it's always like pristine. And he's like the coolest guy ever. I've gotten a bunch of stuff from him over the years, and it's better than eBay prices. It's better condition. He's trusted. I don't know how he finds this stuff. You know?
I may have to get that link from you, Joe, so I can take a look at it. Yeah. Now here we go. We got the Total Recall Quattro mode here on the back. This right here, it made me chuckle a little bit. I'm just wondering if there's going to be a way to hide that a little bit, because it's kind of like, I'm going to turn around and here's my, hey, how's it going, guys? Kind of looking kind of thing there.
I'm hoping they give us some kind of a little piece to plug over that. It's creepy.
I wonder if they can just flip the front of the car down over it. That would,
that
would
help. I hope they don't just say, here, turn the head around.
Yeah. There's just a little guy there.
Yeah. I'm just hoping that, I'm sure Hasbro's listening to feedback, and they've got a lot of trusted people that are probably giving them feedback on this now too as well. So hopefully they'll figure a way to hide him, or you're just going to have kind of the C-3PO from Empire Strikes Back right there going, what's going on? Where's everybody?
I can't see.
That. But here is Leo Kaiser scaled with Devastator, so he's going to be in scale again, and he'll also be the same size as Victory Saber and Death Saurus. So especially if you look at the cartoon, that's kind of the de facto standard on that. So, but yeah, that was the announcement. Megacon, I was blown away just by the amount of stuff that they announced at that, and this coming from like where we've been hearing news about Hasbro being more of a licensing the IPs out. I mean, we got rid of Power Rangers and things, and then a lot of people are kind of scared, going, what's going to happen to our toys and things like that. So this still shows me like there's still stuff in the pipeline, and hopefully there's people that are passionate enough to go, hey, let's give you these guys here.
I think Transformers and G.I. Joe, the legacy brands, are safe. But the money that they pay for Star Wars licensing and for Marvel licensing, all the brands that they license, they're not going to get the ROI like they are on their original IPs. And G.I. Joe, I mean, God, they sell those things for $25 an action figure. And, there's a couple little differences in the molds here and there in the details, but, it's a cash cow, and I think Transformers, I'm surprised they sell them as cheap as they do for how much is going on with them. Because there's so much intricacy. There's so much engineering. Every one is made differently. But yeah, it's plugging along, and it's their baby.
That's good to hear. I'm happy to hear that, because quite a bit we talk about, what companies out there would pick up the IP if they start licensing out Transformers or G.I. Joe or things like that. So to hear you say, hey, that's more like their bread and butter, their babies, those are they're going to hold on to. And after seeing now that I think Playmates is going to be making the next round of Power Ranger figures, it's good to hear. It's a nice, refreshing thought, and it's good to hear. That's all.
Yeah, and you brought up that perspective that I didn't think about, because Disney owns Marvel and Disney owns Star Wars, so therefore Disney's going to charge for them making it. So it does kind of make that sense. It's kind of like going to a restaurant that has too much on the menu, and then there's that restaurant that does 5 things really well. And so that's what I'm hoping is happening. I know it's kind of the growing pains, and I know there's probably people that are losing jobs over that and stuff like that. But if they can do like that 2 or 3 things really, really well, I think that might be a good thing.
Yeah. And Nerf is a big one for them too. Everyone forgets about Nerf, but that's a big home run. Anything that is their own IP is, if they don't pay the licensing on everything, that's a win. Because even Ghostbusters, that's not theirs. Power Rangers wasn't theirs.
Yeah.
Right.
So
well, I know they've licensed out Mask, right? So Mask
Yep.
is going out, and so which is really really cool. So that way I don't have. I know I've got the Ramen toys, Machina Labs, Red Gullwing, Thunderhawk, and then the Great White on that, which are really really great. They're phenomenal. But I would love to have mass market Mask toys that are cheap enough that I can just buy them, play with them, be rough with them, whatever I need to with it.
I don't know if they're going to be cheap enough.
Well, I'm hoping at least because the Machina Lab one was like that Great White was $180. I'm just like, who, and so when I buy figures and they start like this guy right here, how much he's not one that I want to play with. I want to just display him, but like when you have like your core class figures, those are ones that I can play on the desk and fidget with and have fun with and just kind of mess around. Almost my ADD kind of takes over or whatever it may be. And so that's my hope. And that's why sometimes these mass market, and I love third party. I do a lot of third party stuff. I've gotten into that. I'm transitioning some stuff into that, but I'll still have a love for Hasbro because gosh, they were my childhood. They were it. They were the ones that brought these robots to life, that brought my imagination, that just kind of like, oh my gosh, this is the coolest thing ever. A car and a robot together. What? That's amazing.
Yeah. In the 80s, they really nailed it when they paired up with
Uh-oh.
He's been censored.
Marvel.
The internet's going crazy again.
The internet is not on Joe's side tonight, folks. I apologize.
That's it. But I do like that look right there.
Here we go. All right, so we didn't get any of that.
Oh, so I was saying, the big thing Hasbro did well was back in the 80s, they paired up with Sunbow and who was paired up with Marvel. And, they got these comic book writers in, and they got such a good, fresh team in. And, I mean, they nailed it. They nailed it with the writers. They nailed it with the story. They nailed it with the animation, the voice actors, the comic books, everything. And you couldn't get away from it. And everything was quality. It was great. And I think that's where things have a harder time nowadays. It's harder to get that mythology behind it. It's harder to get the story. It's harder to get that connection, to where you have to have everyone on the shelf because everyone is its own person. Everyone's its own personality, and it fleshes out the family together.
Well, when you think about the modern world we live in, think about in the 80s, the cartoons were made to sell those toys.
Yep.
That's what they did, and they did a very good job at it. Whereas now we live in the world of the internet, with YouTube, with all this kind of stuff. So our attentions are divided. So it's tough especially when you think of the target audience being kids, where my daughter would rather watch a YouTube video of someone playing with slime versus watching a 30-minute episode and go, oh, I want that toy. Now my 14-year-old is starting to get back into it. She's starting to watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and stuff like that. And now she's starting to go, I want these toys. And I'm like, honey, it's a little bit too late because they're going to be a little more expensive. But it's just like how I think where toy companies are having trouble with now is how do you capture the attention of a generation whose attention span is very short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think they have the collector bug like we did. So
No.
Yeah.
Not at all. Like, man, I've been collecting for too long. That's how I'm gonna word that.
Yeah.
Now, real quick, I know we've been talking about Hasbro and all these things. We didn't talk about something that Joe did that I still go back and watch, and that is the stop motion shorts you did with, I believe, Greg Berger, Stan Bush. You had some heavy hitters there, and you had done them. I believe they're linked on your YouTube channel as well. We can find them. Can you talk to us about those amazing stop motions?
So honestly, that was like the most fun thing I've ever done. You
think you should keep doing them?
I wish we tried to do more, and we came real close to doing more of them for 40th anniversary. But so I did the project with Ben for Unicron and Vince DiCola. I did a concert to reveal Unicron.
Yep.
And hung out with the Hasbro team, and I said, "Hey Ben, I would like you to do me this favor. I'm going to shoot you emails every now and again. You don't even have to respond. But if you see something you like, let me know. And because my thoughts, and I'm like, you gotta throw a bunch of doo-doo against the wall and see what sticks.
What?
And I had a good relationship with Flynn and with Greg Berger and all these guys. And I was like, we got all these guys here. Everybody wants to play in the sandbox still. Let's do something. Let's have some fun. And the toys look like they just jumped off the screen. And Ben's like, I like the idea. And he had the connection with Counter over in Hong Kong. So me and Flint were like, sweet, this is fun. I mean, it was the easiest thing on the planet to get these people involved in it. It was like a phone call and boom, they were in. And we got to work with the Studio Series 86. And me and Flint like complement each other so well. I know the mythology real well. He knows how to put that pixie dust on it. So we did it. We went in Vince DiCola's studio to record everything. And then me and Flint worked with Counter. And these guys were like living in our head. We had to finally have a conversation with Ben Montana. We're like, Ben, we're trying really hard to criticize what these guys are giving us, but they're living in our head. And the stuff that we're telling them is just to make it look like we're going over stuff. And Ben's like, I get, because there was very little edits that were needed. But it came out awesome. It was so much fun. And Hasbro liked him so much, they ended up putting him in the movie theaters for the 35th anniversary back in 2021. And then they put him on Hasbro Pulse. And like all of us, we would love nothing more than
I loved them. I would love for you to do more of them. If you ever need someone to help out, let me know. I'll do it for free.
Well, getting Hasbro to rip a check right about now is not looking like it's in the cards.
Not in the least.
Soon, so.
And for you to so casually say, we went to Vince DiCola's recording studio, like it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to Blockbuster. That's just wild. That's so cool. Vince is, obviously an idol to all of us. So,
oh yeah.
Dude, he took us in the back room and he had all the stuff that he did the movies with. Looked like an operator board, I did music for 20 years. That was my first career. And I didn't know what any of this, I kind of knew, but I'd never seen any of this stuff. And he's like a mad scientist, man. And his partner over there, Kenny, they're just fantastic to work with. And I love seeing them over at the TF Con. And if you guys ever get a chance to see Vince DiCola in concert or Stan Bush, there's no question. Buy tickets, go enjoy it, and it's something you will never be.
That sounds awesome.
That's always been on my list. Absolutely.
I really like the stop motions, but they're really
stop motions take a lot
they
of
are
work,
short.
but
Maybe
Absolutely.
one day you can make a stop motion movie or something.
Well, people got short attention spans, and I think that worked with the couple minute long format because it came in, it hit with a punch, it got a couple funny things in there, and then it left
I
you
really
hungry
thought
for
it was great that you had Stan voice Jazz. Given the limited options that we have for Gen 1 Jazz, I just thought that was so fitting to have Stan do that, and then you pulled in the touch joke, and it was just, boom. It was great. So whose idea was
Thank
that?
you. Yeah. So it's funny because me and Flint were talking, and we're like, well, we need to get a music guy, because we had two options. We could go with the kind of the jazz, like the African American kind of vibe, but we're like, you know what?
Yeah.
Jazz was a music guy, and I had better connections with the music guys than I did with kind of more of that African American kind of cultural vibe, and we're like, this could be cool. Let's see if the fans get it and get why we did it. And that was going to be the whole gag. That's why Jazz survived the movie, was because he came out with the touch, and it was fun. And it's funny. A lot of those guys had never seen the completed movie. We did like kind of a red carpet up in Beverly Hills, and we had a bunch of the other guys from the movie. They came out to it, and I talked to a lot of them, and they're like, this was our first time like seeing it in full from start to finish, and mind blowing for me. So, because I've seen that thing, that's like my comfort food, you know. Like if I can't sleep at night, put on the movie, and I know every word to it just about. And yeah.
What's up, Adam?
Yeah, it makes me.
Yeah, I love. Yeah, that's awesome, and it looks like that idea is kind of taking off again, because I know they're doing the Transformer One shorts with the toys there too as well. They're not
as good. I can't get into them.
Yeah, I can't either. But they're trying.
We had a bunch of stuff. I don't really want to get too much into it, but yeah, we were working on a lot for 40th anniversary that, you know, it was a different regime over there. And, you know, there was a couple little things. They handled all the animation for us. And we loved working with Counter, but when we were kind of in charge of animation, it made the budgets drastically different to work with, and that was not my area. Anyways, I would have loved to have done more. You know, we were close to doing some more. Maybe in the future it'll happen. I did love, like, I had nothing but good things to say about working with Hasbro when we did that run. But you know, then they shook up the ant farm, and yeah, it was just a different team and different ideas and different visions, I guess.
Absolutely. So I noticed on your channel, which is great, you've had several people like, it's like, oh, Stan Bush is here to review this and this and that. So if you could have, what would be your ideal, like, man, if this person could come to my house to review one of my toys, this is who I want to come over to do that?
I'm gonna let these boys say something first. Do you guys have anyone that you really want to come and have on the channel?
I would like Greg Berger, like that guy. That's exactly
Greg
what
Berger,
I was thinking.
nice.
Yeah.
Okay, you know, that's not impossible.
I've reached out to Greg a few times and I never got a response.
Oh, yeah, I can give him a text. So Frank Tadaro, we have plans on having him come in, and I love Frank and everything that he does. Cuphead, though, oh my God, what a fantastic cartoon that is, and him as Mugman. So we have plans for him. For me, I'd like to get Ron Friedman.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd love to see that.
And I might need to go to him. And we did try to have him do the Unicron with us, but it was like the LA fires were going on. He's been having some challenges. We're gonna go to TFCon, and I'm gonna see, maybe we can line some stuff up there.
Maybe we can do.
That's my thoughts.
Maybe we could do a video there.
Yeah, because a lot of those guys will be there, and you know, we'll have a hotel room, and they all want to do it, you know. But Stan Bush, we gave him the bug to move down where we're at. We're in Murrieta, Temecula area, so he's kind of down the street, and he calls me for questions with Transformer stuff. And Flint, I'm super tight with him. Like, we just have an amazing chemistry together. I've got a couple other projects I'm working on with him. But Ron Friedman, he just tells the most amazing.
Oh, no. Don't freeze.
What does he tell
us?
What does he tell us?
You froze up.
What does he tell us? Oh, no.
Here's the secrets. Here's all the secrets. You froze up. You said Ron Friedman tells the most amazing stories, and then we got nothing. Please tell us.
Stories. And I'd love to get him. I've got a couple other really cool ideas that are in the works. So, and some of it's going to be with G.I. Joe. So
I'm down for that.
Yeah, and I think we can. I think Ben Montano, I'm hoping that he might come on at one point. He said he would be up for it. I wouldn't mind maybe getting some Hasbro guys in at one point or another. Dad. Yes, Drake.
So, like, there's two targets, and we're hitting the one for, like, Transformers, so we're, like, doing that more.
So, yeah, we have Transformers, and Transformers, there's so much more out there.
We're, like, doing, like, Transformers more.
Yeah. So, But I'm actually working on building a classified scale Terradrome.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be massive.
And the guy that designed it, he did the Dragonfly.
Isn't that as big
Oh, that's
as
cool.
That's the one
real
out there.
cool.
He did the Dragonfly and he did the Rattler.
Oh,
So
wow.
he's kind of subcontracted. And I've got parts of it right now, but it's 3D printed. And the first run on the printing didn't come out very well. So he's going to come by and we're going to start putting that together. And I'll have him on. And he's got a tomahawk that he's doing, and he's going to talk about that.
Oh
So,
gosh, that sounds
I
cool.
had that tomahawk as a kid. Wild Bill, man, come on.
I'll tell you, if they do a Haslab, another GI Joe Haslab, I would love a Night Raven.
he did a Night Raven. He has a Night Raven, but the thing is massive. It's like 7 feet long because he did it.
Gosh,
he goes into it, and there's toy scale and there's like real scale. And I think he did like a real scale one, and it was like so he's like, you can have. I'm like, I don't have anywhere to put it. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna, like this Terradrome. I don't know where I'm gonna put that. That thing is 4 feet in diameter and like 2 feet tall, and it's got a fire bat in the middle. And
maybe we should put it outside. Like
no.
Like that thing's big. It's probably
no, do not put it outside.
We got all this cool stuff. We got to have a channel to show it off, right?
Yeah.
You know?
I love it. And all your ideas for your channel really make it sound like you guys are the channel to watch for 2025.
Yeah,
you've got some really cool stuff in the pipeline, man.
Well, Orion's got all the stage presence, you know. So he's my rock star, and
there you go.
I think he's having a hard time because he loves to talk, and he's here biting his lip because
he can talk as much as he wants, please.
Yeah. So
jump in, bud.
Orion. So
I've been so tired because it's been almost an hour and a half.
Yeah.
We've been filming for an hour.
Oh yeah.
So bye.
That's like my daughter.
To run off.
Yeah.
My son's out cold. He put himself in his bed and he's done. I didn't even realize he was asleep.
Stay here if I could transform like these guys.
We don't talk about those guys right now.
So we don't talk about Bruno.
No.
Yeah. So no, it's gonna be a fun year. I'm excited. I like having the idea of how, like, because these guys don't play with the toys much, and I wanted nothing more than to have Flint come out and do Unicron with us.
Yeah.
You know, and as I wanted to have Ron in, but the timing didn't work out. I'm sure we can, you know, maybe at BotCon we can, or TFCon, I can meet up with Ron and say, okay, let's come over here and do something real quick. You know.
So I know you're going to TFCon LA. Do you think you'd be able to make it out to TFCon Chicago?
So with me, it's a little rough with work, with kids, you know.
And YouTube.
So
YouTube, yes.
Yeah. I don't know if it's in the cards in the near future, but I'm sure it will be in the cards in the future.
Oh gosh, I would love to meet you in person because I know Billy and I are going to be at Chicago.
We're
be
doing
in LA.
Chicago.
Dude, LA is the one to go to. That's where everyone's out here.
I know
all the talents out in LA.
My wife's birthday is March 9th, and I can't pull my wife out to Los Angeles for a Transformers convention on her birthday.
Billy, we have Disneyland right down the street.
She said sold. So the last time we went to California, I was singing for a Stone Temple Pilots tribute band called Core. And we stayed in Studio City. I have family in Studio City. So we stayed in Studio City, and I did a couple shows, and the main thing was Nadine said, me, the kids, so all three kids, my wife, everybody comes, and we're all going to Disneyland. So the last day of the trip was Disneyland. I got arrested by stormtroopers. It was fantastic. It was 2019, and it was right before COVID hit. So I had an outstanding final series of shows, and then I stopped singing just because there were no venues to sing in.
Yeah.
But all right, are we doing LA too, hon? Yeah, maybe not this year, but it's definitely in the cards just because there's people out in LA that I know, like I grew up with or I've worked with that I really want to see, and it'd be a great way to catch up.
Yeah, it's fun, and I'd like to get out a little more. It's a little rough with the kids. They spend time with their mom too. We're working things out a little bit, but we're not always eye to eye on everything, and still kind of licking our wounds from all the stuff that comes with that, even though it's 4 years ago. So, yeah,
things take time.
They do. But if you guys come out, man, we are definitely having a beer or three, and we can talk about if you're more of a brain guy or or the breastmaster guy. So
you know the answer to that.
I know what I'm into. Real quick, I wish you all would go live again every weekend. Listen, Joe's welcome. Drake Orion are always welcome. Any guests that you can truly feel the passion, man, I love having back.
Absolutely.
That's how I'm going to put it.
Yeah.
Well, I know I'm going to be doing some deep dives on your channel, Jimmy, after what I saw today.
It's good. It's good white noise to fall asleep to.
Yeah, Jimmy's got a wonderful channel, man. He's got a hell of a presence about him. He always leaves you feeling good. I always tell Jimmy it's either Jimmy or Deluxe Baldwin. I don't know if you know Matt or not, but Deluxe is awesome. Those are the two guys where you turn their channels on and you just feel better about yourself. Like you just feel good. Like you have this great energy like hitting you, and it's just wonderful. So Jimmy,
or you're gonna go, what is he gonna break this time?
And I love the deep dives, and I think I was talking to you guys. I'm like, because you were popping a couple things, and we were talking about Voltron. I'm like, I've never even seen a Voltron 2 in person. You're like, oh, I did a video about that. I'm like, oh my god. So I was
that video was like 2 years in the making, and it just like I got the black and the red one for a really, really great deal. And then just the blue was non-existent. I kept going and going and going. And then like 2 years later, I was able to find one for more than I wanted to pay for it. And but there's a company called Action Toys that's actually re-releasing and making a Voltron 2 that's going to be more articulate. And so I can't wait to do that. It's the Voltron that nobody loves, and I love him. I think he looks great.
Well, nobody knows
because
about
he didn't
him.
come over. He didn't. He just like right after Vehicle, they were like, yeah, he's not. This is not popular anymore.
The engineering on that though blows away the lion and the cars.
Oh yeah. And then I've got the next thing I have in the pipeline. Let me show you here.
Real quick though, Jimmy, since you're turning around, Adam Chandler said, "What is the gigantic Optimus you have?"
What?
Adam Chandler wants to know what the giant Optimus you have.
Oh, I moved him. He's over there now, but it's the Pengu Toys Prime, which is the oversized KO of the Magic Square Prime. He's 18 inches and transforms. Now there's a bigger one, and that's the Lewin Resources, which I'm on the hunt for, and he's like 22 inches, and he's an oversized of the MP10. But my next review, hopefully soon, is this guy. This was the Voltron we didn't get. This was what we were supposed to get as Voltron. Was Daltanius, and when the guy from the company said, "Hey, send over the tapes with the lions," the translation went wrong, and we got the lion one.
Yes, I remember that story. What a trip! So that was the one that we were supposed to get and didn't. And
the bad part, and this is a rabbit hole that I wish I didn't go down, but now I am, and it's just there. That's why I'm having to kind of wean myself off. Is just going, what about these bots that inspired Transformers? What about these ones from way back in the 70s and the, Mazinger and Grendizer? And I just did one on Groizer X, which is an interesting one too as well. And I'm like, these were like the inspiration. These were the ones when you started seeing, and then all of a sudden we started getting and then G.I. Joe, of course, was an inspiration for Transformers around about too as well. So it's interesting when you start diving down these like little rabbit holes, and then you got to go, oh, now what do I need to sacrifice in order to stay down this rabbit hole? And I think Joe's frozen again.
Joe's definitely frozen. Poor guy. So Adam Chandler here says, what kind of TF Prime anniversary characters do you think we will see this year? I have no idea. I would imagine at the very least you'll get a Prime and a Megatron that are kind of updated. I reviewed the test shot of the Armada Starscream from the Transformers Red series. That was really well done. I'm kind of upset they didn't release that to the main line. But I'd imagine at the very least we'd get an Optimus and a Megatron.
Our motto is painful for the first season.
No, I'm talking. This is TF Prime.
Oh, okay, no worries. Yeah, I thought you were. Yeah, I was talking about Transformers Armada.
Armada was horribly painful. My son and I were watching it today on the Transformers Network, and he's like, "Dad, can we turn this off?"
It's still better than Energon, though. Yeah, so
that is very true. But yeah, Adam, I'd really think it's just going to be Optimus and Megatron at best, because there's been nothing announced.
Yeah, that's true.
So
that is true.
Throwing this out in discussion. So my thoughts, we've been getting a lot of these bots. Now, I think the G1s are super cool when we get them new because they're so different. They're so much better articulated. They're more animation accurate and everything else. Beast Wars a little bit too. But then once we get into series like Animated and even Energon, Cybertron, and a lot of these newer ones, when we're getting the re-releases, or not the re-releases, but the updates, they're not as good as the originals. Like, yeah, like Vector Prime, perfect example. Vector Prime original one, fantastic in every way. This one was like, yeah, no gimmicks, less detail, less weight. Like,
oh yeah, that's the same with Armada. There was no gimmicks to that Legacy Armada, like where the original toy had some really, really cool stuff.
Yeah, what are the new ones doing better? And even the Haslab, I got it, but the Haslab versus the original one, the original lights and sounds and the missiles would flip up on the ladder and everything. So what's the new one doing this? But I guess the big sword is pretty cool, and the gun turning into a robot's kind of cool.
Yeah, but that was like, all that stuff was really cool. And I don't know if it's just a cost analysis kind of thing that's happening or whatever, or some people going, hey, let me get, but the thing is like, you're making these bots for people who own the originals that are going, oh, I want to relive this, but I don't want to have to pay for that. But then you get it and you're a little bit disappointed because it doesn't have all the things that you were used to on that. So
I think there's really no need for a lot of those figures to get remade or revisited. The only one I can really think of is the Armada Cyclonus. He was that helicopter that, just the way that they worked the gimmicks, you had that awkward waist that just didn't work, and then after a while just became loose, and it wasn't right. So I would like to see him get an update. I thought the Voyager Armada Starscream missed the mark. In my opinion, it doesn't feel as fun or good as the old one, even though it's more screen accurate. It's an odd feeling. I would rather, and this is my opinion, Hasbro finishes the Gen 1 characters that need their updates and then gives us a new series. Like, I want new characters, new designs. I don't even care if we don't get an Optimus Prime and a Megatron. Give us new leaders. Like, hey, here's another group that was off in distant space and they're coming back and they fell into a transwarp hole and now they have to fight on whatever.
Yeah.
And here you go. Like, new characters.
Yeah. Which that's kind of what was cool, but it's not executed right, was the Earthspark. I mean, Earthspark, we started getting new characters and new one of those things, but just the execution on them was just not that great.
So I agree with that, because even the toys don't feel like they're the same quality as the Chug, right?
Although I do like that that new Soundwave does look pretty cool.
Yes, it does. But
Tidal Wave was a win too.
There was a tidal wave in Earthspark?
No.
Oh no! I'm talking about the
Legacy.
The newer one on the tidal wave. But
that's a definite win.
Tidal wave on
yes.
But
sorry, I'm getting everyone confused.
Yeah, no worries.
I would love expert.
Yeah, like you said with new. I mean, we've got I don't know, Joe, if you're reading them, the comic books, the Energon universe from Skybound.
Yeah.
I mean, they could really start doing some stuff with that, with Void Rivals and with that too as well. So even though it has some of our familiar characters, I want to see kind of what that roadmap is, especially with Void Rivals able to introduce maybe some things that maybe we don't normally see. So
yeah, if you're talking about those comics, I was telling my buddy, if they took the Duke run and turned the Duke run into a movie, that would be the best G.I. Joe Transformers crossover film you could give us. Like,
hands down.
It's so well done. It's what we kind of deserved. But we'll see. I think that they're doing wonderful in their world, and I kind of don't want to take that away from them.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Kirkman's doing a good job. I think he's doing a really, really good job building that thing.
He's got a proven track record.
Of course.
Void Rivals has been awesome. Transformers, man, they are so freaking trigger happy in that.
They are. There's a lot of death. There's a lot of death.
Oh man.
Someone grew up with the '86 movie and said, I'm causing more trauma.
That's
Here
it.
you go.
That's it. Well, it was like I remember watching old school like G.I. Joe and stuff like that. There would be lasers and stuff like that, and no one died. Nobody died, and or like A-Team, you'd have the worst car accidents that they should not walk away from. But they just walk out and they're just kind of just stumbling around. Yeah, and it's just like, but yeah, this new Transformers comic. I mean, when you see that first page where Starscream just goes, you know what, Bumblebee's y'all's favorite people, boom, he's not coming back, you know. So and then he's squashed. Ugh, it's just like it's not your old Transformers of old. So
no, not at all. Adam, I'm pretty sure that both Jimmy and myself are going to review those Transformers Legos. Joe, are you going to be getting those for the kids or for you, or do you delve into Lego?
Is that a rhetorical question?
It says Lego like there.
Yeah, Drake got excited when he saw the comment come up. He's like, "That's what Dad looked at Lego." Yeah. So I didn't hear about the Lego Soundwave yet, but that sounds freaking awesome.
I really like Lego. But
I thought they did an amazing job with that Lego Prime. I thought it was amazing. The Lego Voltron, I wish I could have got a hold of.
We have that one. It's awesome.
I tried to make a Lego Megatron and Optimus. I could get it on if you would want me to.
He's been throwing little things together, and we have so many Lego sets that are all just jumbled, and now
I get it. My son builds his own Lego characters all the time. He's got his own little shelf of the guys.
That's what they're there for.
Cool. Autocorrect Primer's making his way.
Making his way downtown.
Oh, SDF1 and building blocks? That sounds
yes, that NY Hunter got it. It's a third party, that SDF1, and it stands pretty tall and it transforms.
Wow.
It's pretty cool. I'll have to send you a link to it.
That's wild.
I want to get it. But yeah, he's kind of pricey, but it looks cool. Yeah, Robotech, love Robotech.
That's one. I think Orion's about the age for that. I haven't seen it since before the kids were born, all the way through, and I can't wait to go back and do that whole series.
Yeah.
But Orion would be the one to watch it with me. It's just getting through that first like 10 episodes before we get bonkers. So.
Yeah. What's bad is when you were a kid watching Robotech and you're watching, you don't realize now as an adult, you're like, it was a love story.
Yeah, but they were cool robots.
Yeah. We were so enamored with the robots, and then now you watch it, it's like, this is a chick flick.
He ends up with Min-May, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and we were like, everyone was rooting for Lisa Hayes that adored him, that would do anything for him, and Min-May just blows him off for years.
Story of my life.
Rescues her a million times, and she's still just totally aloof. And that was like the worst ending.
Oh, I got an update on the pizza scenario. They canceled my order.
It's 11:15. You ordered that pizza at 6:25.
Well, let's put it this way. Little Caesars is going to hear from me a little bit. I want my free $5 pizza, doggone it.
Yeah.
That's terrible. So I hope you guys ate something.
I'll probably eat a bowl of cereal here after we're done, and then just go to bed and just kind of cry my tears of not having my Hawaiian pizza. I don't know why I wanted a Hawaiian pizza.
Oh, that's why they didn't bring it, because you put pineapple on your pizza.
Dude, I had dinner before the show, and all this talk about pizza is like making me hungry.
I couldn't find my Lego Megatron, but yeah, I could find my Lego Optimus Prime.
That looks freaking
Perfect.
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Good job.
That is
man.
awesome.
Oh.
I added yellow here for like the like headlights, but it fell off and I lost it.
Can you do
But
your
when I was coming down.
can you do your best Autobots roll out?
Autobots rule out.
That's good, dude.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
Good
Nice,
vocalization,
nice.
bud.
yeah.
But yeah, but Joe, gosh, I know I've just gotten to know you very shortly, but man, it's
This video
just amazing
is
to be
almost
around people
2
with the
hours.
same passion, with the same love for these robots and things like that. And I think that's how a lot of our YouTube channel started. Is just like we just want to show that off to people. And I love the fact that your family's involved. That's something I try to do with my daughters and stuff like that. Just getting them involved and going, hey, I want you to see these things that I loved as a kid, and I hope you love them too.
Yep.
That's it as well.
You know, I know we were talking about it a little bit before, but I've been collecting since they first came out, and I've loved it. But when the kids started being able to participate and enjoy it with me, oh my gosh, it made it that much better and that much more fulfilling and enjoyable. And yeah, it's really cool. I mean, collecting with or without kids is great, but that's what put it over the top for me, is getting these boys to enjoy the experience with me. And I don't even get to transform them anymore. Like they broke my addiction to having to be the first one to get them out of the box. And it's even better seeing them get that addiction now.
Yeah,
So,
Billy would have a heart attack if he came to my house and saw everything that's in its boxes. He's like, "What are you doing? Let's have a
he sleeps
marathon
on
filming."
too many things for me. Like for me, if it's here, like I'll come home at lunch, and my wife will be like, "Here's packages," and I'm opening them and I'm messing with them on my short little lunch break. Like, yes, this is too cool, and yeah, I can't leave them in the box. Nothing stays in its plastic prison for long. But you know, my son is at that point now where they come in and he wants to be the first to mess with them, and I have no problem with that. Like,
There's
let's
nothing
have
wrong with
some
that.
fun.
yeah.
No, you wanna inspire the next generation to keep it going. Why would
Yeah.
like
To be
there's
broke
no
forever.
yeah, there's nothing like they're in a case, but if he wants to mess around, he can mess around. Like he knows that. So
I ask him, you know, he's been good. I ask him to ask permission. You know,
Yep.
he knows there's a bunch that are no big deal, the chug, stuff like that. But if he wants to get, like, he's been really good. You know, he asked me on the bigger ones, and we'll do it together with like a Death Saurus or a Victory Saber or an Overlord or something like that. But he's been great. The only one that I haven't let him do is
oh no, you're wrapping up and it. Wait, Jimmy's gone too. Everybody's frozen.
But I'm here.
Yeah, we're here.
You guys both froze up on me, so I guess now my internet's starting to go. Jason Steele says, howdy there. Hello there, partner. How are you?
It's
Thanks
top
for
secret.
checking in. Yeah, so the back to that where they know what's what. If he has friends over, he straight up tells them nobody touches in here, which is amazing. So he just brings them to his toys and they go. And that's why I kind of give him free reign. If he wants to, he can. Just because he knows the respect, and I appreciate it.
Hey, I want to ask you guys a question.
Yeah.
What is, just off the top of your head, what's your favorite piece or pieces, top 2 or 3 in your collection?
All right.
Kind of hard, huh?
Let's let Jimmy go
I'll
first.
go. So top 3, my original Sideswipe, the G1 Sideswipe. It's not my original when I was a kid, but I got it. That was my very first Transformer I ever got, so I had to get one again. And the original Mattel Voltron that I've got too as well. The Lions. It was funny. I went to a comic book shop, buddy of mine. He bought this huge collection of Voltron and Transformers, and he's like, "Yeah, this lady sold them to him for like." She's like, "How much cash do you have?" He's like, "I only got $500." She goes, "I'll take it." And sold him Voltron totes of GI Joes, Transformers, and all that for $500. And he goes, "What do you want?" I saw that Voltron. It was still in a box too as well. I said, "I want that." I was like, "How much would you say?" I was like, "I know you want an arm and a leg for it." And he cut me a deal. I can't tell you how much. and I was like, this was my childhood all over again. So those two would be my top two things right there.
So for me, it's my buddy Nick runs St. Mark's Comics in Brooklyn, New York, in Industry City. He managed to find me a Transmetal Tarantulas, who from Beast Wars, Tarantulas is my favorite character. Transmetal Tarantulas is the coolest design. So that's just one of those figures that means a lot to me. I still have that. My Haslab Unicron is another one that I got it for $20. Like there's nobody else that's going to say they got a Unicron for $20. I did. I love it. There's a lot of meaning there. And another is just, I always say it, I bring it up every show. I love the New Age Cyclonus. It's a legend scaled Cyclonus that looks like he jumped off the screen. That's fun to transform back and forth. It's, in my opinion, like the epitome of a perfect figure. So those are my three that I will never get rid of, period.
What about you, Joe?
So for me, I got a call from Flint one day, and he had a leak in his basement. Okay. And he needed some help cleaning the stuff out. He hadn't been through this in probably 30, 40 years. So I went over and helped him, and we're pulling out all the stuff. He had the Transformers from his desk, his Inhumanoids that he worked with. He had scripts, he had Bibles, everything. And then I pull out 3 huge mounted posters. One is the original Transformers series, the original G.I. Joe series, and then the original Transformers, the movie. And Flint's like, oh man, I haven't seen these in a while. And he's like, which one do you want? And I'm like, huh? He's like, yeah, this is what they had in Sumbo when they closed the studio down. I grabbed them. I'm like, I can't take that. He's like, no, dude, they've been in here for 40 years. Go ahead and pick one. I was like, dude, I'll take the movie since that's my favorite movie of all time. And so I've got the original Transformers the movie poster that was in studios.
That's
awesome.
Wild. That you've got us so beat.
Yeah.
So that's one. And then the second, I have another Transformers the movie poster.
That is frozen.
He's frozen again.
Time. So wait, you have another Transformers poster is all I got. You froze up, bud.
He's frozen again. Come on, internet, let it go.
Internet, you got to let him finish the story.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now we can hear you. You said I have another poster.
All right. So another poster. I've been collecting signatures on that for 15 years or so. And I've got Peter Cullen, Frank Welker, of course, but a lot of the guys that I've worked with, Vince DiCola, Stan Bush, Wally Burr, before he passed away, Dan Gilvezan, Sue Blue, John Machida, Neil Ross. I've got probably 20 or 30 signatures on it. I'd like to get the guy, Judd Nelson. That's the one.
Oh,
really
he was at Megacon. Man. I wish I could have gone because I would have got his signature too. Golly.
Yeah, maybe next year at TFCon in LA. But he's the one. If I get him, then I think I'm good. Or Eric Idle, but that one, or Weird Al. Those are the three that and of course they're the wild ones to get. So yeah.
So fun fact, I'm going to a convention in April that Weird Al will be at. So it's Huntsville Pop Culture Con. So if you ever want to go to Huntsville, Alabama, that's where you can go.
Nice.
So I do want to say John Moshida is one of the nicest people I've ever spoken to in my life. Like, bar none. So nice. What's up, bud? I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
He just made a new one apparently in the last 5 minutes. So and he's putting it back together real quick.
Well, it's I just took the arms off of a mini.
Okay.
This is supposed to be like the Septicon logo. Oh, I forgot the color. It's purple.
Yeah.
I should just get like.
He's amazing.
Yes.
I keep trying to show this comment. I just got into Transformers a few months ago, but I've got the 86 Optimus, and he is awesome. I agree. He won I gave him Figure of the Year for myself last year, simply because it shows what Hasbro's capable of. You know, you guys all know me. Sometimes I'm a little too hard on Hasbro because I expect great things out of the people that created this brand I love. But I think 86 is everything done right. The only things I would have changed on that toy, I would have given it an ab crunch and I would have given it double jointed elbows. Other than that, that thing is perfect.
The smokestacks. Get the smokestacks a little more solid. That's it.
Yeah, mine spin quite a bit.
Yeah.
Another Transformers, guys.
Yeah. So at the Huntsville one, Michael Bell, of course, the voice of Sideswipe, is going to be there. But also, you got 4 of the 5 Voltron voices will be there. So Michael Bell, I forgot who the others. Neil Ross is going to be there.
Neil's great. Such a nice guy.
So there's a lot. I'm looking at this list and I'm like, oh wow, this is awesome. My wife's like, oh, Ernie Hudson's going to be there. I'm like, that's cool. I want to go see Michael Bell. Although I do want to see Ernie Hudson. I mean, of course, Ghostbusters would be great, and Weird Al. I'm just like, I'm waiting for him to post the price of what his autograph's going to be, just to see what that'll be for that.
Michael Bell?
No, Weird Al.
No,
Weird Al. Yeah, I've met Michael Bell a bunch. You guys want to hear a funny story? This is a good story. I did an event called NerdCon back in 2015, 2016.
Did you put
And
gems on?
and I had Michael Bell, I had Greg Berger, Buzz Dixon, and Flint come and do it, and we did 80s stuff. So Michael Bell got along really well with my mom, and my mom took him and Buzz Dixon back home to Los Angeles. It was about a 2-hour drive. So that way they didn't have to take the train. Well, they're in the car. My mom called me like right after it happened, but they had never met Michael Bell and Buzz Dixon. Buzz Dixon wrote the G.I. Joe movie, and Michael found out about that, and I guess he got pretty pissed. And he's like, "You're the one that killed me." He's like, "I love Duke, and you killed me in that." He's like, "I couldn't believe it. What were you thinking?" Blah blah. And Buzz was like tripping backwards, and I guess he's like, "Well, I was trying to put some realism and show that there's effects of war, and you couldn't do it, and all that." And then that's what led to they end up cutting it, of course, because of the impact of Optimus Prime. But yeah, the first time they met was apparently in my mom's car on the way back to LA, and it was a little tense.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So, I'm not sure if I have much more to talk about.
I don't either. It's like we're turning into pumpkins here. It's East Coast.
It's my back's starting to flare up from this darn kidney stone. So yeah,
I don't wish that pain on anybody.
No, neither do I. So with that, Joe, you guys are fantastic.
Thanks for having us on. God, what a fun night, man!
It was fun. The time just flew by. Honestly, I didn't even realize what time it was because the way I have my screen set up. Yeah, it's been a fun night. You've got so many stories. I feel like there's other shows we can have of just stories with Joe that would just probably blow people's minds. I want to send one more time. I want to send everybody to your channel. Okay. I believe we've got it. Yeah. We've got it streaming down below. Troutman Family Presents is a wonderful channel on YouTube. Joe and his 2 boys review figures that either you've grown up with or that you would be purchasing now, along with crazy guests. They get people like Flint Dilley, who wrote the Transformers movie. They've had Stan Bush, who, if you don't know who Stan Bush is, you guys can just leave.
Yes. You don't have the touch or the power, right?
Yeah, you're done. And on top of that, the kids sometimes sneak on reviews without their dad, and it's pretty humorous. I love what you guys do. As a father, as a collector, it's everything that I try to do with my son. So it's really cool, and I appreciate what you've done and what you're building. I hope that some of the people that have viewed in tonight have given you a subscription or a follow. I hope we can help you guys grow.
Yeah, super appreciate it. It's funny. I've never been on this side of it. So, I've gone from having people and engineers and everything, and now I'm trying to do it myself. I'm like, how do I make a subtitle? How do I do a transition? And I feel like Oh my gosh, it's just crazy when you don't have someone else to have them do it for you.
That's
So,
true.
Yeah, I mean, I've always appreciated the engineers, but I'm still learning. So, guys, give me a little break on my channel. We're learning, and thank God I got my kids to carry the torch and have the camera presence that I don't have. So,
well, what we always like to do is offer if there's anything we could do to help you guys. I know on my end, you can always reach out.
Yeah.
Jimmy's given me some advice on, cameras to buy or apps to use. Jimmy's a great wealth of knowledge in this.
I know enough to get me into trouble.
So,
if you guys know how to find 2 more hours in the day?
Yeah.
I do, but I don't know if it's legal in every state.
We're in California, right? I think everything's legal. So
There you go.
Yeah. I've had some
Well,
fun in Cali, but yeah, honestly, I'm going to close out this show just because I think we've run pretty well on time. We've touched on some amazing topics. Everybody, please take a moment, subscribe to Joe and the Troutman family presents. We would greatly appreciate it. If you have suggestions for future shows, or if you want to be a guest host, email us at theforgelive2005@gmail.com. Jimmy and I are always checking those emails. We're more than happy to help out or just have you on. We love this stuff. We love what we do each week. I'm not sure what we've got planned for the next few weeks, but I know Jimmy might be going on vacation and leaving me alone. So I'd love to have some folks on with me. Granted, I can talk, and talk I can do. Let's word it like that. So thank you, everybody, so much. From me, from Jimmy, from Joe, Drake, and Orion. Thank you guys so much, and we will catch you next time.
Thank you guys so much. What a blast. So.